Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Today we have some new information regarding the gameplay and Ultimate Team in general. So we're gonna be taking a look at those notes that EA have released. I've read the gameplay notes already. Just take into consideration that some of the gameplay stuff that they didn't talk about, they're aware of, but they just didn't mention in this pitch notes, right? For instance, the right stick switching. Sometimes the gameplay devs, when I'm streaming, they hop on the streams and they check out the gameplay and they want to see like what I say, because I give proof of stuff that I don't like with the right stick switching. There's games where it was very obvious that I was using the right stick to switch to certain areas, and then they never really switched to those certain areas. So the thing about this whole ordeal over here is that gameplay responsiveness is the biggest issue, and then Ultimate Team, I think the quickness of being able to do stuff is also another big issue. So we're going to be taking a look at those variables of the game to see what is up. So FIFA Ultimate Team, when will we have any updates to the squad building UI? UI is a user interface. The perception right now is that it takes too long to complete SBCs when compared to previous foots. Is there any chance of this being addressed in a title update? The answer: when we did the redesign of the squad screen, we had goals to unite the club, squad, and transfer market functionality into the squad screen, which obviously is a good path, right? And simplify concepts that may have been challenging for players. Our intent was always to maintain many of the power flows for our veteran players, but through closed beta and during early access, we heard feedback from players that these flows were not as efficient in some cases. As a result, we have some changes coming in a future title update that are focused on improving some of the key flows in the squad screen. What we have planned to deliver is roughly below: improve the discoverability and added new functionality to multi-swap in the squad screen and squad building challenge screen. When on the club tab of the squad screen, players can now turn on multi-swap regardless of how the players enter the tab. When multi-swap is active, players will be able to cycle through positions in their squad, including the subs and reserves, enabling the ability to swap player items in all positions without leaving the club tab. The minimap image on the screen shows which position you are currently selecting and now also includes subs and reserves. These are good improvements. When highlighting a specific position in the squad, there's an option to refresh the search results to update based on the current selected position. Sorry for being weird with the reading right now, I literally just woke up. Adjustments to player item swapping functionality in the club tab. When changing to the club tab without having specifically selected a position on your squad first, it will no longer assume that you want to swap players for a specific position. Good, because that was kind of annoying. If we wanted to pick the actual position, then, you know. When you select a player on the club tab, it will not automatically send the player to your squad. Instead, you will need to manually change back to the squad tab. Oh, I see. So it doesn't put them instantly. You can put them wherever you want in the actual squad tab. Okay, cool. Once you have done this, you'll be able to specifically select a position on your squad that you want to place or swap that player item to. Backing out of player search while on the club tab of the squad screen will no longer take players to the squad tab and will instead keep them on the club tab. Okay. In FIFA 20, it is not currently possible to view the requirements for each rank in division rivals or each tier in squad battles. Is there a plan to address this? This was an unfortunate miss on our part when the screens in this area were redesigned for FIFA 20, so it wasn't on our radar until the feedback started coming from the community during early access. We are working on correcting this in the future title update. Gameplay. There's been some frustration from players around certain skill moves not registering correctly. So that's what we were saying in our gameplay review, like heel to heels, angled body feints. Like they register them. They do the acceleration push touch, right? Where it's like your players just like push the ball really far sometimes in certain areas. They still do that sometimes for those skill moves. We are working for some fixes for skill moves that are targeted for a future title update, which is good. Are there any plans to increase the effectiveness of headers or improve the chances of having a successful header? In particular, scoring goals from headers off of crosses or corners seems very challenging so far in FIFA 20. Good. Because it's so hard, right, to make those not RNG, right? And this is what they said, right? Based on feedback from FIFA 19, both from players directly and based on our own data, the decision was made to make crossing and corners less effective in FIFA 20, resulting in less goals from headers. A big part of this decision is an effort to promote skill differentiation and the idea that most of the goals that are scored are the direct result of player actions. While we are always looking at ways to improve the game, at the moment we don't have any plan to change this in FIFA 20. In my opinion, I think that's the right decision. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, the whole problem with the game right now, guys, is gameplay responsiveness. But stuff like that is what it has to be, because crosses and corners will always be random. There's very hard to make a variable in the game where they're not random, right? So, and that I've noticed that more. Like the goals that I've been conceding, yes, the deflections and the rebounds are freaking insane right now, and that's something that they don't mention in these patch notes, but they are actually looking into. Is the rebounds and the deflections. But as of right now, with the finishing, people do try to score goals normally. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Let's see what else there is. Defensive clearances seem like they are much weaker in FIFA 20. Are there any plans to address this? In FIFA 19, using the pass button to clear the ball via a header was often an effective way of executing a clearance. Not really. Not really. And FIFA 20, due to the changes to headers, as covered in the previous question, players who are using the pass button may be seeing those clearances be less effective than in previous years. Players should ensure that they're using the clearance button when they're trying to clear the ball from the area when on defense. Okay, here's a problem, EA. For the video game concept, okay, this has been said a lot of times. When you are clearing the ball, and Pez has this, okay? I don't like Pez's game, but that's just personal opinion. But there's certain variables of their game that are very, very good, okay? Their clearance, right? When you press the clearance button on Pez, you can aim it where you're clearing the ball, right? So if it's I know that you guys have like 50-50 engagements in the air nowadays, but clearances are random, right? Sometimes when you clear the ball, it goes out for like a throw-in when the person's free, and I could just clear it out and go for a counterattack. If the person chose to cross the ball and his player is not in an obvious good position, you know, you should be able to get the ball and counter. If the person doesn't want to get countered as much, then you put players in the box set less so that they don't get countered as much. There's variables there, right? But the problem with your clearances right now for heading is that they're random. It's RNG, but it's RNG with them, right? Obviously, it's the most effective way to clear the header, like holding circle or B, and then they jump as high as they possibly can, of course. But you have to understand that you also have tackling in that command too, okay? Because I literally conceded a corner in one of my RTG videos where I was pressing circle to clear the ball and my player still tackled him. So you can't have those two being a thing together, because it's cause for, you know, two different things happening, right? If you guys need the clip, because I know they watch these videos, if you guys need the clip, I'll show you it. But I did concede a penalty from just clearing the ball from a corner, which is really stupid. So it's not, this isn't really like a matter of like, oh, just use the clearance to clear the ball, because there's two variables in it that aren't very good right now. Like the accuracy needs to be a little bit better if you're clearing the ball, right? It doesn't have to be perfect, but just at least be able to choose a general area, right? And then, you know, tackling from clearing shouldn't be a thing either, right? So that's things to take into consideration, I think. Are there any plans to release changes or fixes to Goalkeeper, specifically around the manner by which they are punching the ball in situations where they could be catching it, or with the type of rebounds that they are giving away? There are a number of updates and fixes that we have been working on that we are targeting for release in a future update, title updates with a specific focus on the areas mentioned. Okay, so they are going to mess with the goalkeepers, because like I said, there are still 1v1 situations that should be 100%, that even De Gea's and all these guys just should not be saving. The 100%, not the like the 75s or the 80s, because yeah, if they save them, they save them, right? But the 100%, you know, you have manual goalkeeping in the game, right? And you have a better version of I like the manual goalkeeping nowadays. It annoys me when I get it wrong nowadays, right? Because it's locked now. If people pick a side, that's it. It's so easy to score in the other direction. It didn't happen before. So because you have that variable now, accuracy in shooting is important, because if someone is using manual goalkeeping and I have a 100% opportunity and I shoot it across goal and I hit the post from good angles, you guys know what the good angles are nowadays. It should go in because you have that variable of manual goalkeeping. If he goes the other direction, I still hit the post in the other direction. It's kind of stupid, right? And I've noticed this being done. Like, we were reviewing the gameplay. There was 2 or 3 examples that a guy was showing me the other day with Mbappe where that was happening with him. So good quality players, and they were still doing it. So in regards to the deflections with the goalkeepers palming it out and whatever, that's definitely an issue too. There's so many opportunities where they could just catch it there alone, right? And they just punch the ball, and it's very, very frustrating because then you have to clear it, and then you have to take all that into consideration. It's very, very annoying, right? So definitely something to take into consideration as well for the goalkeeper. So I'm wondering to see what they're going to do with it, because the finishing is definitely better and it's very good, but there's still too many situations where the difference between the skill gap in the game is when you break someone's defense down and their goalies are still saving the obvious opportunities, right? God bless your attacking AI, because your attacking AI is way better nowadays, where you can kind of compensate for it a little bit. The runs they make is brilliant, okay? But that's just something to take into consideration, in my opinion. When can we expect the first title update with gameplay changes, and can you provide any insight into what would be contained in that title update? Providing a specific date or time for when a title update will release is not something we do, as we are often reliant on things outside of our control to deliver against a specific date. That being said, you can expect that a title update which contains gameplay updates will be arriving within the next week or 2. That kind of sucks because the delay issue is a really big one. Like, I think a lot of people are going to struggle in Foot Champs for the first weekend, because if it's within a week before Foot Champs, that would be great. But I'm pretty sure Foot Champs is next week, so it's going to be frustrating because the game is not necessarily skilled yet because of the delay, right? So I guess it's just going to be like one of the things that people have to deal with, which sucks because it shouldn't be the case at all in any video game. But it kind of is what it is. My ear feels super weird, guys. I don't know why. But that's pretty much it in regards to this review. Some good things have been said in this. Definitely some good things. I think that, again, like I said, some of the gameplay stuff that weren't mentioned in this, you know, they're looking into like most of them. I can't really think of anything else that's like huge. Like right stick switching, obviously, left stick dribbling, responsiveness, not even necessarily the dribbling. I don't think the dribbling is the actual problem. It's the responsiveness of it. Like it's not 1-to-1, right? Even with the mechanics of the player in terms of sluggishness, it's not 1-to-1, right? Delay or whatever. I think that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'll see you guys later. I know you guys really like the Road to Glory episodes, because that seems to be like the flex on the channel right now. I don't think people really care about player reviews. If you guys do care about player reviews, let me know in the comment section down below. But I've noticed that a trend on the channel that people don't really care for tutorials right now. It's more about the Road to Glory. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.